Good morning. Today we are going to talk about expectations. Expectations is a really hard thing to talk about because they kind of go hand in hand with our goals, right? So, for example, I set a goal out for myself every single month, and it's always the same goal. And then I add on additional goals as needed. So for my personal retail sales, my goal is always $2,000 for the month. My goal is always to sponsor 3 people each month. And my goal is always to have at least 5 parties booked each month. So that's a static goal for me. Then I add on additional things as needed, training new presenters, helping you guys with whatever issues or problems you're having, and so on and so forth. But that's a goal. Now, what is my expectation of that goal? Of course, my expectation is to meet it, right? This is where it gets tricky because what happens to me if I don't? And I'll be honest, a lot of times I don't. I don't hit that. $2,000 PRS is a lofty number. 3 people sponsored a month, that's a lot of work. And 5 parties booked a month, that's a lot of work too. So what happens to me if my goals, if my expectations don't reach my goals? I have a couple choices. I can decide that I need to revamp my goals. Maybe they were too much for that given month. It's October right now, and a lot of people are gearing up for Halloween. And so these last couple days of the month are typically slower. So in the beginning of October, maybe my expectations for this month were a little high, also considering the fact that I was gone for 7 days for the cruise. So making sure that your expectations are able to meet your goals is one of the key things. If you've just started and your goal is to sponsor 50 people this month, your expectations aren't going to get met, right? So we need to make sure that when we're sitting down and thinking about what we want, it's not arbitrary. It's not something that we're just throwing around haphazardly. It's something that we're really consciously thinking about and saying, okay, do my goals and my expectations and the month and all of the other stuff in my life, because I know you guys all have other stuff in your life, does all of this fit together cohesively? So maybe you're on this team and you work a full-time job, okay? So maybe your goal is that you sell $1,000 a month and you sponsor 2 presenters and you have 4 parties, okay? That's a fantastic goal. Now, if you don't make that goal at the end of the month, if your expectations of that goal are not met, you have a couple of choices. We all have the same choices, right? We can get down. We can say we're failures. We can say this business doesn't work. We can say we really tried, even though sometimes we didn't. We like to fool ourselves. We like to trick our minds into thinking that we did everything we could. Every day, you guys, this is a struggle for me because I stay home. And every day, I get sucked into the Facebook vortex. And every day, I get sucked into, oh, I better do the dishes before I approach these 3 people about the business. Oh, oops, I should probably go put some makeup on before I do my follow-up. And we are masters, at least I am, we are masters of deceiving ourselves as to what we're really actually doing. A lot of times on this page I'll post, and I believe this, that if you calendar your time and you set aside a 30-minute block where there's no husband, no boyfriend, no mom, no kids, no dogs, no phone calls, no Facebook vortex, no doing laundry just because you don't want to do your unique 30 minutes, okay? If you isolate that 30-minute time block, you would be so surprised at what you guys can get done, okay? So, going back to expectations, because that was what we're talking about today. If your expectation is that you are going to be able to meet every single goal that you set out for yourself. You're going to wind up disappointed. I don't think there's any single person in the unique business that meets every single goal that they set out for themselves every single month. I just don't. I just don't. Now, if you are a person that is used to being super successful at everything you do, this business might reach you in some internal places that are uncomfortable for you. Okay? I'll admit to it quite freely. I've always been one of the top of whatever I do, whether it's, in school or grad school or, work or, whatever I did, sports. I was always really good at it. And I really never had to work too hard. And now I'm doing this and I'm working my butt off. And I'm having disappointments and I'm having places where my expectations of myself aren't being met and fulfilled. And I'll tell you something, it's hard, okay? Here's my point. Saying to yourself that that's normal and that's okay and that's going to happen in this business, in your life, in anything you do, kind of gives you a sense of, okay, so that didn't happen. So I didn't hit pink this month. I'm going to revamp my goals. I'm going to rethink my expectations. I'm going to look at what I actually have to do in my life, and I'm going to find out where and how I can fit in my little 30-minute blocks of unique, and I'm going to try again. And I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to understand that every single person that does unique or any business or is even like engaged in life, every single person is going to have disappointments and times where their expectations are not met. We have a choice of what we're going to do with that. We can either move forward, keep reworking, keep revamping, and keep trying, or we can let it take us down. I hear from so many people, not on this team because you guys are all rock stars, but I hear from so many people, well, I had 3 parties and nobody bought anything, so I guess this doesn't work. Or I've talked to everybody I know and nobody wants to join my team, so I guess this is just kind of dumb. Or, well, I've been doing this for a year and I'm only pink status, so I think that this is not, for me. Okay. These are cases where people's expectations of themselves and of this business have fallen short. And if you're one of these people or you know one of these people, my advice would be to take a look at what you're doing. Take a look at your actions. Take a look at what you're doing every single day and decide, do my expectations and my goals, are they in line with my actions? And let me tell you something. Most times those people that are saying all of those things, their actions are like this. Their expectations are like this. And of course they're not going to meet up. Okay? So here's my story with love for you guys is a couple things. Make sure your expectations and your goals line up with what you are able to do. I know some of you are able to devote hours a day to this, and some of you are able to devote minutes a day. If you're a minutes a day person, your expectations and your goals need to be in line, okay? If you're an hours a day person and you're not getting the results you want, you need to take a look at your actions. And never, ever, ever let that internal critic bring you guys down, because this business does work if you know how to work it the right way. I hope you enjoyed this training, and tell me what you think in the comments below. Okay, bye.